I'll never tire of that anthem over the course of the next however many months through to December and hopefully beyond. Unless we lose, and then I hate it. I really hate it. I refuse to listen to that stupid anthem anyway. Bloody, Zodiac the Priest. He was probably a wanker. Welcome to our special Champions League group stage draw Rhebel podcast. Coming to you, as always, from the Balcony Freedom on this Friday evening in downtown Melbourne. My name is Prefontaine, and I'm joined by my co-host and young nephew, Callum. It's all starting to happen.
It's exciting, isn't it? And it's another 15 million into the coffers of Celtic Park. 15
million into the coffers, that's right. I'll take opening bids at 15, because over the course of... In every article that you read, it seems... What's the highest you've seen?
25.
You've seen 25. Yeah. 25 million. I've seen 20 million. And
then they somehow said that Key was part of that. Then they added the Key, and that was 30 million.
Oh, right. That's like the money the club's getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, can someone please work out exactly how much the football teams do get from playing in the Champions League?
No, they make it up. They literally just make it up.
Which is a lot like our podcast. We just make it up as well. So today, or this evening on the show, what we'll do is we'll probably just recap quickly the game against Helsingborg, and then we'll talk a bit about. We'll do a bit of a preview of the three teams that we're playing in the actual Champions League.
Yep.
So let's talk about the game against Helsingborg. Now, I've also seen in the paper some journalists refer to them as Helsingborg, and other journalists refer to them in the plural, Helsingborgs.
Oh.
Have you seen that?
No, that's not.
So there's another thing I just don't get.
You'd think it wouldn't be the plural.
Right, I know. But a couple of articles in the Herald I saw, the Glasgow Herald, they had written Helsingborgs.
That's nice.
Evidently they're playing more than one team. So we watched the return leg at Parkhead. What were you thinking beforehand? Did you think we'd get the result?
I was pretty relaxed. I just couldn't see them scoring, really. That was the main thing. As well as I was exhausted, because we had like a 2-hour sleep beforehand.
Yeah.
So, but I guess after the first 20 minutes, when they had a lot of the ball but didn't really do anything with it, you felt pretty relaxed. Then we scored the goal, and it was pretty much all over after that.
And it was, wasn't it? You couldn't see them getting 3 goals just to try and sort of tie the tie.
I mean, they didn't really create many chances at all at Parkhead. They played a lot better at their ground than they did here.
Yeah.
And, Kelvin Wilson came into his own that game, and
he did, didn't he?
Stood up and grew into his Celtic shirt, and he played really well. So that, Adam Matthews, the whole defence and the whole kind of the team defending was really, really good.
I thought Charlie Mulgrew actually had quite a quiet game, and that's not I'm not saying that he played poorly. I'm just saying that I just don't think he had much to do.
Yeah.
I think Wilson seemed to be doing a lot of the work, and Charlie very rarely touched the ball.
That's probably a good thing as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
How do you think your mate Goyan went?
He didn't play. Hoyan.
Goyan
or Doyan. You didn't know his name. You didn't correct me. You had no idea.
I was letting you hang.
Yeah, sure you were.
Oh no, he likes to go by the name Bedoya.
Whatever. They're all hums, aren't they?
Well, who knows? Goyan certainly is, and his brother Bedoya is as well. So that was...
Another broken promise by Sevco 5088 or whatever their name is.
Yeah.
Another broken promise.
That he promised the Rangers fans that he would...
knock Celtic out.
Right. Didn't work, did it?
You'd be really depressed right now if you're a Rangers fan, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about them a little bit later on. We might give them like 5 minutes at the end of the show. Let's solely focus on... the great football.
Hashtag Celtic.
Hashtag Celtic UCL. Now, here's some things I want to talk about.
Go.
I want to talk about the commentary of the game. I know that we sort of harp on about the commentary, but okay, I basically sat throughout the game on my iPhone and took notes of certain things that were said throughout the game.
He wasn't watching.
Okay, this was in the 15-minute mark. It appears now that Chelsea are playing with a different shape.
That was really... Because I said, did he call us Chelsea? And you went, I thought he called us Chelsea.
Yeah.
Like, not even the right game.
Yeah. I think he was right, though. Chelsea certainly were playing with a different shape because they weren't even there.
I mean, after that happened, there was really, you could excuse him for forgetting a couple of our players' names, considering he didn't know who our club was.
Well, I'll get onto that. The 20-minute mark, when Sammy had a shot on goals, probably one of our first clear chances, he said, Sammy never believed he could score. I thought, oh, really? You know that for a fact here?
He beat 4 players.
Yeah.
And, brilliant turn of pace, and then he got the easiest thing he had to do, and he didn't believe it.
He just didn't have belief.
No, not good enough.
No conviction from Sammy. 24-minute mark. The light in the darkness of Scottish football is Forrester.
Oh, that was brilliant.
He couldn't get his name right. First of all, I don't even agree with the premise that, James Forrest is the light in the darkness of Scottish football. I don't even agree there's darkness in Scottish football, and that James Forrest is the light of that darkness that I don't think exists. But you don't even get his name right.
It was pathetic.
And he also went on a couple of seconds later to say Celtic play much better at home than away. And I'm going,
I remember that.
I'm going, home? He had an English accent, one of those nasally English accents. Whether they're playing at home or away. I'm going, home? I say home. I don't know about you. Home. Anyway. The 27-minute mark, this isn't a gag. Serious. That was a penalty. I thought it was a penalty. That was shocking.
Yeah. Well, we got one back in the end.
We did. Yeah, well, I don't reckon that was offside.
I think it was offside. But I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
Touch and game.
When I first saw it, not in the replay, in the heat of the game, I said, that looks a bit juice.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, they're standing basically side by side.
They replayed it throughout the game, and we still really couldn't tell. And there was one where we were away at one stage, it was called offside, and it wasn't offside, so, you win and lose them.
So swings and roundabouts, you think. And then in the 38-minute mark, when the support were doing the huddle,
oh, God.
And he said it was brought to the British Isles by Man City. Now, I'm not 100% on this, but I don't think that's the case, because I had a lot of Australian fans that follow the EPL and said, oh, Celtic are doing the pause there?
Yeah, some shit.
And I'm going, the fuck? I said, it's a huddle, you dickhead.
Yeah.
And that's when I got angry.
Yeah.
Because I went, don't even get me started on that. Every one of you pricks are all now doing a friggin' huddle before the game, like the actual teams. I said, we've been huddling since 1992, since Tony Mowbray.
Look,
started the huddle.
Yeah.
No, everyone's doing a huddle.
Liverpool came up with the Fields of Anfield Road first, and all those songs. So, I mean, if you ever look on a YouTube video with just type in "Walk On Celtic," and it's literally 2 sets of supporters arguing on who had Walk On first. But we had it first.
Well, everyone knows that we had it first. Yeah. It's a freaking Rodgers and Hammerstein bloody song out of a Rodgers and Hammerstein play called Carousel. So you can argue a bunch of gay movie directors in Hollywood had it first, Not freaking Liverpool or fucking Jerry and the Pacemakers or even us. It was, Hollywood had it first.
Yeah.
And the rest of us...
And those gays.
And the rest of us all pissed it. That dinner we had is giving me the fucking heebie-jeebies.
My lips. Do you know what kind of lip are with me? And I haven't had it for the last few days.
Alright.
So I want to try and wean myself off. It's like my crack cocaine. Just trying to slowly wean myself off that,
Yeah, yeah.
So I bought some today. Thank God. Because I would be struggling.
I'm finding it hard to breathe.
I can't feel my lips a little bit.
I can't even eat one. Half time. That was it, isn't it?
That was Subo. I wonder how Subo was.
Huh?
I wonder how Subo was before the game.
Oh, Subo, yeah. I didn't realise that was the case until I saw Twitter. Yeah. She's a big woman.
Who was the Paradise Windfall? I wonder which pseudo-celebrity they put
that one. We should find that out. We should get one of the boys to email us. Just let us know. Because we pretty much do podcasts before.
Well, really whenever we want.
Whenever we want,
really sporadically.
But we're thinking that we're trying to do it the joke we put on the How website was we're like Haggie's Bar on the Gallagate. We open only for home games. And we're not sure if we have a license either.
It's a nice bar.
Haggie's?
Yeah. They've done it up.
It's got this kind of weird kind of timber flooring.
It's like floating floorboards which someone put down when they were drunk or something.
Yeah.
Nice.
But it's got timber floorboards, timber walls, timber roof, timber bar. It's just like timber. If someone dropped a match, you'd be fucked.
Yeah.
And there's no definitely no exit out the back.
There's
one door
exit,
in and one door out. Yeah.
I've got a photo out the front of that bar with our cousin Sean. Hello, Sean. And every person in the bar that was left there. There's me and 50 guys. We've all taken a photo outside the bar. On my last night.
Oh, that's when you were there when the Bumblebee thing was going on. And then I made another note here, sort of, when during half-time, Adrian Healy, the ESPN commentator, said there's tough times for Celtic fans. It was really condescending. Like, tough times for Celtic fans. And I just kind of thought, I don't see what you're talking about here. I don't think there are tough times for Celtic or our fans. We're having a great time.
We are having a great
time.
We're
loving life.
We're having a party with everything.
We are. We'll get on to that in a moment. And he said, and he made this other remark, he said, all the supporters would no doubt be in the stadium talking over a pint of beer, wondering who they'll get in the group stages. To which I said, well, you're certainly sitting in a studio in America because you've not been in Celtic Park because you cannot get a pot of... unless you're in the Seven restaurant, or what it's called, or the one in the...
all those.
Jockstein stands, But other than that, no one downstairs underneath the stadium is having pints of beer.
None of the real fans can have a beer.
Yeah. I didn't think Brownie had his best game, but geez, he's hard as nails, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he was... I read that today because he was injured.
Yeah.
And he had to have a shot before the game.
Yeah.
And there was one point where you could see he was kind of rolling in pain.
Yeah.
Not like he was bending over and he didn't move for about maybe 40 seconds. And then he got up and ran, from the defence all the way up to the forward line. And
then just ran through a brick wall.
Yeah.
Do you think that he actually takes live rounds of ammunition into the chest during training?
You can see him doing that. Well, he'll be out for the next couple of weeks, and they said the next game he might play will be the Champions League game. So, he did the right thing in terms of... Because he had to play yesterday without Joe Ledley in there as well. Yeah. We needed a hard man in there, so he did obviously did the right thing, and he's really grown into being the captain of the club, isn't he?
Yeah, and he'll be so important in his European matches,
especially the away games.
Yeah, just to sort of be that sort of steely resolve, particularly against a lot of those sort of little nippy, bloody, girly teams.
Costs like a Barcelona team.
Yeah. 47th minute mark. Commentator: Helsingborg need an early goal to ensure progress to the group stages. And I kind of thought, they probably need more than just one goal to ensure progress to the group stages.
Yeah. The 47th minute mark's not that early.
Yeah. No, it's a good point, actually, yeah. 51st minute, strong challenge by Mulgrew. That's Calvin Wilson. One's black, one's white.
We have 3 black guys on the team.
How did you get that wrong? And they did it again in the 80th minute. You got Tony White and Victor Wanyama muddled up. Like, oh my God, what is this guy doing?
But he was drinking. I wasn't listening to him anyway backstage.
No.
Can we fix we need to start a petition to fix the ESPN sound.
Oh, because they turn up the commentators
and turn the sound crowd right down.
Yeah.
That's really frustrating. Even like when the commentators aren't speaking, like during half time and stuff. They've put the wrong
settings.
Yeah, it is.
And particularly for fans like us that are overseas, we want to hear the singing.
Yeah, that's pretty much all. And we don't need to see. We don't need to hear the commentators.
I don't really want to hear the commentators.
We can see what's going on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they can't. Because they're clearly getting it fucking wrong. And then obviously Victor's goal in the 89th minute.
Yep.
Which sort of kind of wrapped it up, really.
Yeah. He's the first ever Kenyan to score
in the Champions League. Great.
Qualifiers or group stages. Or
and he'll score more in the group stages.
Yeah, definitely.
4 or 5 perhaps.
Against Barcelona.
In the Camp Nou. Is it Nou Camp or Camp Nou? And
Camp Nou, I think.
When did it start becoming Camp Nou after years of us calling it the Nou Camp? It is, I mean,
I don't know.
They do call it Camp Nou. And when I went to Barcelona, they called it Camp Nou. Like on the maps in Spanish it said Camp Nou, or even in Catalan. But
the official language.
The official language of the Catalan people. So that's probably a good start. Let's talk about the teams.
Let's do it.
So the draw came out this morning.
Lots of fanfare as per usual.
Yep.
It was a really nice...
you saw it? Take me through it.
Yeah, I did. It was a really nice... there were 2 really nice things about it. It was a nice room.
Yep.
Like a good function room.
Yep.
The screens behind were nice. And then when... I think was it Iniesta got the best player of the year? I don't know.
Yep.
But there was 3 of them up there. There was Messi, whoever won.
Yep.
You really should know.
Good research.
And Ronaldo. And they had the trophy, which was a really odd looking trophy. It was like a torso, just the torso of someone.
Right.
That's what the trophy was like. It was really weird. But on the back, it was like, it looked quite heavy and substantial.
Yeah.
And then the guy turned the trophy to show everyone who won.
Right.
Because it was already engraved.
Oh, right.
That was nice.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got, well, everyone knows who we got. We Group G.
Yeah.
For good. We got FC Barcelona.
Who are they?
Well, I can't tell you about them, but I can tell you about the city of Barcelona.
Tell me about the city of
because
Barcelona.
people will be travelling there. People need to know this.
Yeah, we could be like a tourism program.
We should start paying. People have to pay for this information.
Yeah.
Alright, so I've got 5 fun facts about Barcelona.
Uh-huh.
Ready to go through them?
Totally.
Okay. Barcelona is the 4th best European city in which to locate a business, according to the European Cities Monitor.
Right.
Who do you think are the other 3?
Ooh. Best place to set up a business.
Yep, in Europe.
I'm not going to say Greece or anywhere, rather Athens or anywhere in Greece or anywhere in Ireland. I'm going to say. Okay, what would make Barcelona good to set up?
Think of it as like what your first probably thought. Just give us one.
Transylvania.
You're an idiot. London, Paris, and Frankfurt.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Barcelona attracts over 1 million visitors every week.
Shit.
And I think a substantial amount of those people will be so supporters in a couple of weeks.
That is true.
Barcelona has 4.5 kilometres of sandy beaches. Now, there was no beaches in Barcelona until 1992.
Really?
The seaside of the city was owned by the local industries, but when the city decided to host the Olympic Games, the seaside was converted into a leisure zone.
Right.
10% of the city is covered by parks.
Right.
Now, there's 2 more. The most walked street in Spain is in Barcelona.
La Ramblas?
Port del Angel.
Ah, no.
3,500 people walk down every hour. And over 35% of trips taken by people around the city are walked or biked and not done by car.
Right.
Because every minute there's a accident or something by car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Stats. When you go to if you ever go to Barcelona, go to the beach.
Is it nice? Lots of
nude chicks.
Nice.
There is cans to be seen.
Real?
Funny. I didn't grab them all. Not all of them, anyway. So when I was in Barcelona in 2006, it was summer, and I was with my girlfriend at the time then, and she wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to go to Camp Nou. So she went to the beach. I did a tour of Camp Nou in my hoops, and there was a school there of kids from a Catholic school in Glasgow.
Nice.
Yeah. And
were they all Rangers supporters?
Yeah. So I was having a chat to them, and I did the tour and stuff. That was pretty cool. It's in a very impressive stadium. And even when you're walking down the tunnel, as you're walking down the tunnel towards the pitch, on your right-hand side is a little chapel.
Right.
Where you can go and have a quick, prayer. Before you go out there. And the Barcelona players will need it when we get there, because they'll be shitting pants.
Yeah, they will.
And the whole trophy experience is pretty amazing. And their press, it's like, the press room parquet's like, someone's toilet. And the one at Barcelona is huge. Like, it's huge. It's like when you go to like, when the Oscars are on and they've got the red carpet, so so you walk the long line of the red carpet and all the press are all lined up along there, so you just sort of move from one sort of network to another.
Yeah.
If you're a Hollywood star, that's how it's set up in the press rooms like that
in
Barcelona. So there's one area where you can sit down. Mm-hmm. That's actually more like a lecture theatre, because the media are in sort of like a lecture theatre, with a tiered sort of setup. But the other bit where the players come through, they're all sort of gated off in this section where when they walk off the tunnel, they go through this section which is where all the media line up to try and grab them. And you don't have to do an interview if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But that's how they sort of marshal it. It's very impressive. And I've heard that Bernabeu's quite impressive as well, the tour and stuff. And the whole sort of, because Barcelona are not just a football club, they're a sporting club. So they've got a basketball team that plays in the Spanish Basketball League, and they've got a couple of other sort of like the handball team and other Spanish
stupid European
sports. Don't like it, underwater hockey, things like that. So all their facilities are all in the whole area. So there's like opposite the new Camp Nou, there's another sort of smaller stadium, which is probably the same size as like the Melbourne Victories ground.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, opposite it. And that's where they train and stuff, and the juniors play there and things. It's impressive. Yeah.
No.
Anyway,
Can
so after I went to the stadium, I then went down and caught up with my girlfriend at the beach. As I'm walking down and trying to find her, I'm walking past these chicks going, fuck, why did I go to the fucking stadium? I should just come here. This is brilliant. And I even said to her, I said, Jesus, whew. Like, and she goes, oh, you think it's bad now? It's just in it before. I was surrounded by, and they're all hot and just cans out.
Yeah.
Brilliant city.
Go
on that alone. So, boys, when you get there, don't go to some Irish pub. Just get down to that fucking beach. Right, what next?
Can we beat Barcelona?
I think 3-0 at Parkhead, and we'll maybe we'll scrape through the 1-1 draw it.
That's conservative.
I
would say would beat them at the Camp Nou.
Because they're on. I think they're on the downward slope. Barcelona. Yeah, I really do. They've Pep Guardiola. He's gone now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone.
You got some other bloke.
I've got no idea.
And
they've lost against
Real Madrid. He's a chancer. I think what's his name? The striker.
Messi.
I think he's overrated. I don't think he has much to offer for that team.
Yep.
And
he actually distracts.
Yeah.
Distracts the team.
I think he's little.
His
shorts don't fit him. I don't like his haircut.
That is the haircut is shit out. For all the money these guys earn.
I don't get a haircut.
It's like when Ronaldinho. Fix your fucking teeth.
Like
Jesus, man.
I watched that Celtic 1 Barcelona 0 game when young Marshall came out and kept that game. And when I looked, I said, my God, you are one ugly motherfucker.
Do you know Peter Crouch the other day?
Right.
He's got a really, really hot new girlfriend.
Yeah.
And someone said, so Peter, how'd you get her? And he went, bought it. He went, well, I don't know, but I'm a footballer. And he said, and then I said, so Peter, what would you do? Like, follow-up question. What would you do if you weren't a footballer? And he went, I'd probably be a virgin.
Well, she's honest.
Yeah, she's babing. She's rigging.
She's rigging.
Yeah.
Okay, next team.
Rigging means a good body.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Right, is that a new thing the kids are saying?
Yeah, rigging. Or she's just hot.
Okay.
Moscow. Oh, so FC Spartak Moskva.
Moskva? Duh. Tell me about the Moscow team, Callum.
During the Second World War, metro stations were used as air raid shelter. 150 people were born there.
Right.
Yeah. In the metro stations. 2011, the Forbes magazine ranked Moscow as the city with greatest number of billionaires.
That doesn't surprise me.
2 more than New York. 3 more than New York.
3 more billionaires?
Right. There's 79 of them.
Jesus.
3, the Russian State Library in Moscow, which was founded in 1862, is the biggest in Europe and second biggest in the world after the Library of Congress. Major sports events hosted by Moscow include the 1980 Summer Olympic Games, the first World Youth Games, and obviously you won the right and beat England to host the 2018 World Cup. And Moscow's green cover that includes parks and gardens is much more than other Western cities of comparable size.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I was struggling with the fun facts for Moscow.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool, Tony. I'm going to Moscow.
Yeah.
I fly in there and then fly there on the 27th and I have to get a fly straight to Glasgow to see the last game.
So when do you arrive? When do you land in Europe for your trip?
27th.
Of what month?
November.
November.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when do you get to Scotland?
Well, I was going to get there on Christmas.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
But you're going to get there earlier now.
Yeah.
For the what game?
The last game.
And who's that against?
I think Moscow. Match day 6. Yeah.
Moscow. Right.
5th of December.
So, remember what I said to you yesterday morning after we beat Helsingborgs, that Celtics beat Helsingborgs, that Aiden McGeady is playing, obviously, for Spartak.
Yep.
I said, what's the chances we get them? And sure enough, we did. So Aiden's coming back to Parkhead.
Dude, give him hell.
Yeah, I wonder how the fans will receive him. I think he'll get a good reception.
I think he will. He was a bit of an arsehole on the end when he left.
Do you think...
Yeah, we had a massive go at Gordon Strachan.
He did, yeah. But those two just did not get on.
Yeah.
That was a father-son relationship if you ever had one.
That's why Tony Burns was so critical to that relationship.
Yeah.
He was kind of like the guy that stepped in all the time.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
It'll be a hard game because it's artificial pitch.
Oh, we're very good at that now. We're very good at that now.
I remember when I think like one of our first ever games, and when we were playing, Henrik was playing, and Henrik's boots were like $30. The boots he used.
Oh, really?
Yeah. To use like grass cats.
Yeah.
That's quite funny.
I couldn't actually tell what kind of boots the boys were using when they played against Helsinki.
You can use normal boots. Like we've got ones here.
Right.
People pictures, and you use real boots. You use real normal boots.
Right.
It gets so hot in Australia. Because we always play during summer, because obviously during the summertime for pre-season,
right,
all the grounds aren't being used by cricket and footy and stuff, or cricket.
Yeah.
So we normally play in like these centres, and because they've got rubber in them.
Yeah.
And it gets so hot.
Oh, really?
Anything above 30 degrees, your feet just burn.
Right.
That's not comfortable.
I did my knee on AstroTurf.
Did you?
Yeah, I was playing for, it was like a sort of a select Victorian side against a select New South Wales side.
Right. Was that old school, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it was at Darebin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Dirty friggin' guy of a European nationality, and I won't say because otherwise I'll be racist.
Maybe?
No. Double-footed sliding tackle straight into me. I couldn't believe it. It was a friggin' friendly. It was like a charity thing.
Yeah.
Charity my ass. Fucking hard. God, I wasn't happy. I looked down and said, "You prick." I knew straight away.
Yeah. You hate yourself.
Oh, bastard. Anyway.
You're doing a Phil right now.
Oh, looking to it. No, I'm looking at my notes. See, I'm doing a Phil. Nice, though. Like it. Did we talk about that last podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. But we weren't liable, were we?
No. I mean, you said you hated him. He was an arsehole.
Did not.
And I had to cut that out because it's inappropriate.
Right. Yeah, you cut it out. Cut it out. So, Moscow, yeah, going to be tough in Russia.
Mm. It's a beatable team.
Yeah, well, obviously they're the team the weaker team.
Yeah.
I don't think the pots reflect the standard of the teams. I think Celtic are a better coefficient than what determined that we're pot 4.
Definitely.
So just because we're pot 4 and the Russians are pot 3 doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than us.
No.
Same with Benfica. Like when we played Benfica last time in the Champions League, we beat them 3-0 at Parkhead, didn't we?
Yeah.
Even bloody Kenny Miller scored against them. Shit. I mean, Kenny never scored for us.
No, and he had a really bad team at the time.
He had a blinder again that game.
Mm.
So I reckon we can, at home, we need to get back to the Martin O'Neill era where we just don't drop points at Parkhead.
Yeah, that is the main goal.
We get 9 points, against all of them, which should be difficult. Obviously.
You need about 7. You normally need about 7 points
from your home games.
Yeah.
But then you got to get points on the road.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of proven the last couple of games that
we have. We've got form.
We can do it.
Yeah.
Do you remember the game where Kenny Miller played for Celtic and he beat he scored against Rangers?
His very first goal he's ever scored for Celtic.
And he did that.
Yeah.
And I remember you really having about that.
Yeah.
And then a couple of, then he fucked off.
and
played for them.
And ended up playing for Rangers again. I know. Look,
I like to think that Kenny Miller didn't have that bad of, because he's obviously fake tanning up.
Massive fake tan.
I don't think he ever did that when he was part of Celtic.
No, it's
a Hun. Thing.
It's a Hun thing. Yeah. Graham Souness always had a fake tan in the 80s.
Yeah.
And a fake moustache. That's not a real moustache.
Really?
He stuck that on.
No.
It's actually, parts of it is from his pubic hair around his tockley. around his cruets. Yeah. Agates. I don't know if people say it. I don't know if people...
I've never heard what did you say the first one was?
Tockley.
I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah?
No.
I think it's an Australian word for penis. Tockley. Yeah, Tockley. No. Anyway, agates. That's cruets, your nutsack, that kind of stuff. That's what
Sweet nutsack.
That's what we're talking about here.
It always descends to this, doesn't it?
Huh?
It always descends to...
Yeah, pretty much.
Nothing wrong with that.
We haven't talked about bumholes yet. We'll get there in a minute. So, moving on to... Portugal.
SL Benfica.
Yes.
Why is it SL Benfica?
Silly little Benfica. Slopey losers Benfica.
Slutbag.
Slurry
Benfica.
Slurry Benfica. Nothing better fucking slurry.
Do you, sorry.
What's your fun facts with Benfica?
I've got one for one here.
Uh-huh.
That's why it's the last.
Alright.
Despite its rather small size compared to other European capitals, Lisbon has always done things on a grand scale. In fact, the city set a world record for assembling the largest dining table ever. They once served lunch to some 15,000 people, over the Vasco da Gama Bridge.
Vasco da Gama. Right.
15,000 people. That'd be a busy kitchen.
That's a busy kitchen. How would you feel if you were going to send something back?
In that sense, you would want as many cooks in the kitchen as possible.
That's true. Excuse me, waitress, but I asked for a medium rare.
And the kitchen, there'd have to be multiple kitchens, because by the time you got from one end to the
bridge, yeah.
I
don't think the kitchen would be just at one end.
Geez, you had to be the last person served, wouldn't you?
I like how the Portuguese are trying to go for records, but they can't get their economy right. All right, next.
Portugal is home to the first commercial wave farm, which creates and sells electricity.
Oh, the water thing, wave, power, great. Excellent.
Obviously, starting on the European Cup in 1967.
67, yep.
Although bullfighting is still legal in the country, actually killing the bull during the show is illegal.
Right.
So I'm not sure if you can kill a bull outside of the show.
Uh-huh.
And 94%, the religion of Portugal is 94% Roman Catholic.
Radio.
That's all I have to say there. Enough said.
Fact. Enough said. So, Benfica. What do we know about Benfica, the football team?
I like their strips.
It's red, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the last looking strip.
You got it there in front of you?
Yeah.
Sweet. Shame no one else can see it.
Whatever. I actually like the Adidas strips, kind of last couple of Adidas strips they've pulled out. In terms of the national teams, I like the collar.
Do you know what Celtic is in terms of the odds to win the Champions League?
No.
We're 300 to 1.
Nice.
I'm taking those odds.
I had a dream last night that something happened in the Champions League and we did really well. I went to Europe a second time.
Right.
In the year.
Oh, right. 2003.
Well, I didn't do that, but you did.
Sure. I'm bragging now.
That was ridiculous. I'm going to be coming over to my house, late at night.
Yeah.
And you and Dad just, for hours.
In the study.
Trying to find stuff.
Plotting, planning. Yeah, that was great. So the story for the listeners out there is that in 2003, I went across to Scotland. I saw it was the first time I'd gone back as an adult. Mm-hmm. I was in Scotland in 86 when I was 11. And I was there in 1978. No, I don't remember much. I remember I was 3. I remember we had hired a car and it was a blue Cortina.
Yep.
And I remember I remember Dad and my sister and my brother got to climb a mountain. I'd stay in the car with Mum. And I was really pissed that I didn't get to climb the mountain as well. Yeah. It wasn't a mountain. They went up the hill a bit, It was there was a burn. There was a little river running down and stuff. And I walked up there and Mum took a photo of that.
Why weren't you allowed to go?
I don't know. I wasn't allowed to get out of the car. And I absolutely cracked the Erex. I fucking dropped the tanny. Big stars were driving right in the Highlands. And I just sat in the back seat, absolutely giving it, I want to climb a friggin' mountain. And so they eventually pulled over. It was like an anthill. And Dad and I climbed that. And I said, I want a photo! They got a photo. I want a friggin' photo of a mountain. So they got out and took a photo of me. And I've tried to find that photo. It's a slide. This is the 70s, when things got put into slides. I've been dying to find that photo of me up that boulder. Anyway, 2003. So I went back, and it was the first time I'd been back to Parkhead as an adult, and it was brilliant. And I saw my first Old Firm game. We won 1-0. Johnny Hartson scored. I think I was at the Celtic Liverpool game.
Yeah, you were. Got a picture of that in your toilet.
Really? Cam Larson scored with his knee through Jurdy Juzek's legs. No, he's come back from he'd broken his jaw, and he couldn't stick his tongue out because he couldn't really open his mouth very well. So he just gave it one of these, tight, clenched fist pumper, sort of right in front of us as well. That's where our seats were, and that's where my cousin's seats were. Anyway, so I was Old Firm game against the Huns. Obviously, League Cup final we lost 2-1, and we missed a penalty in the last 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I went up to Inverness in the Scottish Cup 4th round. We fucking lost that game as well. Anyway, hello.
That was when we were we didn't win anything that year.
That was 2003.
So good.
2003. It was brilliant, and we won nothing. And I saw every game in which.
You were massive.
It was I saw every game where our run in that competition ended. So I saw us get knocked out of the Scottish Cup. I saw us lose the League Cup final. And then I went home to Australia. Yep. Got home to Australia. A week later, we played Boa Vista,
Yep.
and we won. And
Were you watching these games? You watched them live?
No, the Boa Vista game wasn't televised, but it was on Celtic TV audio.
Okay.
And I remember at the time there was a whole bit. We went to the Charles Dickens in Collins Street, and the next day was Anzac Day, and Anzac Day is a non-trading day. You can't open pubs until 1 o'clock. Mm-hmm. Nothing can open at all. It's a completely. There's 3 days in the Australian calendar in which you cannot open: Good Friday, Christmas Day, and half of Anzac Day. And so the guy wouldn't open, but it was like literally 50 Tims out the front, banging on the window, going, "Oh, no, you bastard!" And he wouldn't open up. But he had the game on TV through satellite. But the prick wouldn't show it. So anyway, I've gone home to my apartment. Your dad's gone back to Mount Waverley. He's then dialed up the Celtic TV, got the audio, put it next to the phone. I've gone home. I've listened to it on the phone. But I'd been out that night, and I was a bit para. So I'm lying on the floor with the phone next to my head, and my head sort of wedged into the corner of the wall so I could sort of keep the phone upright. Anyway, and I've fallen asleep. And I think your dad could hear me sort of in the background like that. And then all of a sudden, Henrik scored, and I've heard Franco nuts, and I've heard, Tony Hamilton or whoever go nuts, and I've walked, what happened? Yes! And in the next 24 hours, basically that was it. We were going. Oh, and then that was a Thursday night. There was Sunday, we played the Huns. That's the Beach Ball Sunday. We played the Huns at the Death Star. And that night, I was walking back home from the city, and we watched that game at a pub in town, and I was pretty pissed again. And I called up someone in Scotland and said, "Fuck it, I'm coming over." So that was it. The next day, a friend of mine, who's a friend of the podcast, he's been on this podcast, he's always on the Wild Dog Half Hour, Sean O'Sullivan, he worked for Commonwealth Bank in the loans department, and I said to him, I need a loan, because I had no money, and I got a $5,000 loan, and I went back and we got tickets for Seville, flew over.
You got tickets through Amex?
Tickets through Amex.
And they just arrived at the hotel really dodgily.
Cost us a bucket load too. And on it said like €20, we paid a lot more than that. And when we're trying to book the flights, the Australian travel agent, or like Qantas or whatever, and I was going, we need to get to, where do you want to go? I said, we need to go to Seville. And they're going, okay, no, that should be not a problem at all. And looking up and going, okay, I can get you from Melbourne to London, but I can't seem to get the flight from London to Seville. Let me try another way. Okay. I can get you to Frankfurt, but I can't seem to get flights from Frankfurt to Seville. Let me try another thing. I can get you to Rome, but I can't seem to get flights from... I can't seem to get you to Seville. I don't know why I can't do this. So in the end, we went Melbourne, London, Paris, Charles de Gaulle to catch a bus to Orly, which is like sort of the domestic French terminal. Orly to Seville. Crazy.
Worth it.
Absolutely. Even though we get the result, it's still brilliant. And every Celtic fan has their own little story. And, we could do a whole Seville podcast. We're not going to... Let's talk about the boys and stuff with the Champions League. Usual words.
Champions League.
How good does that sound to say?
Champions League.
I really enjoyed walking around today going, we're in the Champions League.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe 4 years.
I know.
Someone, mate, we're doing a podcast on it. That annoys. Right,
brilliant. And the tweets were brilliant after the game. And
I think I actually might have saved a couple.
Just saying Champions League a lot was sick.
Yeah.
And look, we've done all the right things. We're drinking Heineken at the moment. I've got 2 credit cards. I've got my own Visa, and I've got an actual Mastercard. Which is my mum's Mastercard. So I've been putting everything on that Mastercard. Thanks, Mum. It's an expense. It's like it's an expense. It's like a business expense. Write that off. Played my PS3 for the first time in like 6 months today.
Did you really?
Yeah. Played the Celtic.
See, I'm glad I don't get into that kind of stuff because that would,
You literally have no life then.
Yeah, I know. I have something that I want you all to listen to, and just this is an interview with. Remember back to 2001, I think it was. Celtic's very first game in the Champions League since the European Cup became the Champions League, right? This is an interview that Martin O'Neill gave after we lost 3-2 to Juventus when they got a penalty kick deep in the game, and this is a sort of back down through memory lane.
Will you press the play?
Yeah.
a gutting result. I'll come to specifics in a minute, but first just give us a line on the performance of the Celtic players.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. To come here to Juventus in our opening game of the Champions League and play like we did, second half was extraordinary. And we've gone into a decision like that there. It's absolutely extraordinary. We were magnificent. Coming roaring in there against the Juventus who spent £100 million and we were fantastic. The players there devastated in the dressing room as I am myself. It's shocking.
The penalty obviously is what's turned everything on. What's making you so angry?
Each we're back in we're in the game. It's just wave after wave after wave after wave of attacking, and we've gone everybody forward, and we've got there. And at 2-2, there's only one winner. You think we're going for it, and suddenly there, I've turned away from the incident. The ball has gone out for I thought a goal kick. I've turned away from the incident. I cannot believe he's pointed to the spot, and I'm like, honestly, I mean, I might be totally wrong. It might be a penalty. It might be a penalty. I would very, very much doubt it. I have not seen it, and I'm going on air now and talking with us here, but it looked as if he was a foot away from the ball. The replay, where can I show you?
Just watching the interview with Martin O'Neill, the intensity that he has, and the passion that he had for that team, it speaks volumes about the belief that guy could instill in players, and they weren't necessarily a great bunch of players. Rob Douglas proved that pretty much every week. But they, like the story of when we drew 1 each with Liverpool at Parkhead, and he went to change rooms, and they walked out of that stadium that night completely convinced that they were going to beat Liverpool at Anfield. And you listen to the passion of that man there, you get a sense of that,
He got it.
Oh, he got it. Absolutely. Like, it's inspiring. And that's the thing that I love about the Champions League is that you don't buy into the bullshit that you get on Sky and you hear from your mates, because everyone just assumes that the best teams always win. But this is what sport's about, because sport is about it's meant to be an equal playing field, and obviously in some cases it's not. These teams are like the Benfica or the Barcelonas and the Real Madrids and that are obviously have so much more money to spend and can buy the best players. But in the end, they're just human beings. And an old expression, if it bleeds, you can kill it. And these teams, we can beat these teams. We've beat them before, and I reckon we'll beat them again. And I just think that, that Neil Lennon has proven over the course of his short time at Parkhead that I think that he can motivate these guys. And I got a sense of that in the last 4 games that were played in Europe. I know we're playing not as higher quality sides as we're about to meet. But, what more can you ask for? 4 wins on the spin, conceding 1 goal, 2 wins away from home. These guys have got a determination about them that it's far different to last year and the season before.
That's Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that was a disaster. But, last year you could start to see it start to turn a bit. We're starting to get a little bit better in Europe. And these guys now, I think, this is going to be a big jump for them. But this is, and as Gary Hooper said, before the game against the second game against Helsingborg, he said, "This is the biggest game of my career," because these guys know that they want to play in the Champions League. This is the most important club tournament in the world, and they're in it now.
Well, Sammy said after the game that commentator was trying to goad him into after the draw. And he went, "What do you think about the teams?" And he went, "I don't care who we play."
Yeah. And
Sammy's kind of he's very nonchalant and with that type of stuff, but they should believe that they can do anything. Yeah. Because especially at Paradise when you've got 60,000 people literally holding their breath for everything, and supporting you no matter what.
Roaring you on.
Yeah. You should. They should have a lot of confidence and take confidence from going to tricky away, European, lower league teams, but still winning and playing well and playing comfortably and holding the ball, because anything's possible. Who would have thought 11 guys from 20 miles outside of Parkhead would win? Yeah. Would beat,
on a sunny day in Lisbon.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. Did you see that ITV had tweeted bye-bye Celtic?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter. I didn't know what they said, and I saw it on ATM just before I checked.
Yeah.
It's pathetic. So, yeah.
Did you want to, anything else you wanted to add about our Champions League experience that we're about to undergo?
No. Just looking forward to it.
Do you want to have a quick sort of Sebco update?
Well, nothing's really going on there.
Well, the interesting thing that you told me before we went on air was that they
can't use their name.
There's been a court ruling. Is it a court ruling?
I don't know. It's an industry body ruling or something. I don't know.
Right, sort of the regulatory body,
Yeah.
the companies has said you can't use the Rangers or Wrongers.
Anything that resembles
Yeah.
Hun FC.
Yeah, right.
Anything that resembles your bigoted and sectarian past.
Does that mean that the company can't be called that, or does that mean that they can't register? Like
They can't register the name of the football club, I'm pretty sure.
Right, so that means that they can't play under that name.
Mm.
Fuck, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I'm so happy about that. Because there's a guy Hun over here. I don't know how much of a Hun he is because he's Australian, so I don't know his stories. But he said, Middlesbrough's still Middlesbrough, Torino's still Torino, so Rangers will always be Rangers. And I thought, geez, I hope you get screwed on this one. And if this happens, I am going to be fucking wrapped. I am really going to be wrapped. I'm literally thinking about taking a shit and putting it in an envelope and sending it to him. And saying, shit will always be shit.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I just thought of it then. I didn't really know where I was going with it.
No, I liked it.
Right. And the other great thing about it is that we're off to play Barcelona and they're off to play Brecon.
They're playing in one of those D Cups again.
The Ramsden Cup. That'll be a tough game for them.
It'll be a tough game for them.
We don't know who they're playing.
No,
We just know it'll be a tough game.
And they've got no more players anymore. So.
Because Broadfoot's left. They're coming fourth in the lowest league, professional league in Scotland.
They're all walking away. Who would have thunk it?
I know.
All those many months ago when Fat Sally said that.
They won't be happy inside the big house.
The big house is looking quite empty.
I was thinking about this actually the other day. What makes that statement, the big house must stay up, and that's the bottom line? Do you think it was it's not the fact that he had no neck, because he was just all chin? Is that what it was so funny? Or was it funny that Celtic supporters had not realised that Huns had referred to their stadium as the big house? Was that the surprise?
I think it was the fact that he didn't know I don't think he realised that the big house is jail. And you're all criminals. We've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
And it's even more ironic because of the cheating and the tax evasion.
Yeah.
And penalties for that is jail.
Yeah.
And they don't get irony, but that was also quite funny.
Yeah.
He's just referred to he's implicitly just said that we cheated and we are in jail for it.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line.
And that is the bottom line. And that's the bottom line of this podcast, I reckon.
That is the bottom line of this podcast. We've got Hibs tomorrow. Let's not do a preview because by the time you're listening to it, the game will have already been played.
I've done that before anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I'm saying 4-0 for us.
Okay.
What are you saying?
2-0.
2-0.
Yep.
Right.
With Tony Watt.
Tony Watt. Bloody hell, Tony Watt. I love Tony Watt.
Yeah, he's the man.
We all love Tony Watt. Don't forget you can subscribe to the Rhebel podcast, and indeed you can subscribe to all the Hail Hail Media podcasts, our big family, by going to the website, which is hailhailmedia.com. Is that what it is?
We should know that.
It's
brand new.
It's brand new.
Hailhailmedia.com.
Hailhailmedia.com. It's been all done up. It looks fantastic. It's really easy to navigate, so if you want to listen to Beyond the Waves, if you want to listen to Lost Boys, Homeboys, Over and Over, Temporary Stand, Paradise Preview,
90 Minutes Cynic,
90 minute Cynic, it's hard to say.
Paradise Preview, The Green Room,
The Green Room,
Temporary Stand.
Yeah. Or obviously Mets Boys if you're up for a bit of sort of baseball banter. Go to the website. It's a fantastic website. And obviously you can also subscribe to our podcast through our own website, which is theflack.com, so it's the-flack.com, and there's a couple of articles that I've written up there recently about my time travelling around Scotland and watching the tick and stuff, and I'll probably be doing another article, not expected the week after, about something related to Scottish football and Celtic in particular. And you can follow us on Twitter. We're Rhebel Podcasts.
With H.
With H's after the R and after the P. And follow us, because we've only got like 400
or
something.
That's bullshit.
That's slack.
Get around it.
And
we're really funny on the Rhebel Podcast.
so we've been told.
On the Twitter.
In the words of Ron Burgundy, I don't believe it. And obviously you can follow Callum at Dollar67. You can follow me at Prefontaine67. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend and head off to
Champions League weekend.
Head off to Paradise and roar the boys on for another win against the Edinburgh Hibernian.
Indeed.
Hail, hail.
Cheers.
the story.